Following the significant boycott and outcry over the release of a brand new Snow White trailer, Rachel Zegler has lost it once more. The audience claims that she is this Snow Brown and not Snow White, is currently at the epicenter of a terrible storm that threatens to destroy not only her career, but also Disney's reputation. It's a mess, to be honest, and everything in this film is incorrect. But it's difficult to accept that the evil quo Ontoruzzo in this movie, the queen, is envious of Snow White's beauty. And I'm not alone. If you read the comments on this trailer, who seems to think this? I dare say Zegler has been let go from a number of Disney projects. There are live-action, animated, and even some Snow White sequels in the works. Yes, follow-ups. It was obvious that Disney was counting on this reboot, but following Zegler's PR gaffes, they scrapped everything and applied the brakes. Disney seems to be severing all connections and attempting to forget about it, but this is where things start to get crazy. Rachel's reaction to all of this is complete meltdown mode rather than taking a step back and allowing things to settle down. Jamie literally just says one day the children will come home. And Jamie won't accept that. Since her contentious posts about X and her continued, let's call them PR blunders, there has been a decline, and it's not just her. Disney is being hit by a cascade of negative effects at a time when, let's face it, with Bob Iger at Disney, they simply cannot afford another disaster. Bob Iger, the CEO, as some prefer to call him, is frantically trying to keep this under control. Due to his alleged expense, mega fallout, the company is already in poor shape. When you combine Rachel's meltdown with Disney's dubious agenda and containment strategy, it seems like the company is juggling grenades right now. However, let's return to Rachel for a moment. She is apparently upset about more than just Disney. However, the very people Disney relies on to purchase tickets and watch their films are their fans. It appears that Rachel is upset about the widespread boycott. Families who grew up watching the original Snow White movie are rejecting the new version, which is hurting Disney's box office prospects. It currently has 4.5 million views, but the issue is that it was taken about 16 hours ago. If I reload, it has more than 500,000 views and only 2,000 more likes. Rachel is stepping up her efforts behind the scenes, reportedly working with her manager and agent on a statement that will take aim directly at fans rather than owning up to her part in this PR catastrophe. Yes, you read correctly. She intends to blame her fans for the situation that has left her career in ruins. It's one thing to defend yourself, but this feels like properly fueling an already raging fire, and Disney, they're making the situation worse. Executives are urging Zegler to backtrack on her plan because, let's face it, alienating your audience even more is probably not the move now if you thought things couldn't get worse. Is this statement going to label critics as part of a loud minority of so-called misogynists or sexists opposed to Disney's DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives? Here's the surprise. Behind closed doors, Rachel's behavior has also been drawing attention, and according to reports, she has been on TI rides, yes, real tirades, where fans are held responsible for her demise. Disney is also in full panic and damage control mode, with emergency meetings being held to figure out how to protect what's left of this project. They're reportedly working overtime to cover up the growing tensions between Zegler and Gal Gadot, which have only intensified behind the scenes. She has even blamed the backlash on Snow White director Mark Webb, saying it's their fault rather than hers. The irony here is that Disney continues to promote this film as a surefire hit and invests more money in damage control and promotions, but the more they attempt to make things better, the worse it seems to get. Her name is Snow White, and it's like watching someone dig deeper and deeper into a hole and not stop. I'm so sorry Rachel Zegler doesn't fit because of her Snow White skin. In order to display diverse talent without erasing historical and cultural identity at this time, that description creates a new Disney princess. Zegler's choice to target critics and lash out at fans seems like the final nail in the coffin. Poetry was not a musical like theater. You just dig in. And as I was saying in the video, Disney is pressuring her to remove this planned statement since they are aware that it will only alienate more people and that Bob Iger and the Disney executives are in a panic. Rachel Zegler's situation is getting worse, as evidenced by the overwhelming negative reaction to the Snow White remake. Has now made the decision to blame fans once more, but the stakes are higher because she is upset about losing a huge multi-million-dollar deal with Disney, one that could have brought in about $20 million for her over a number of projects. Instead, the consequences of her divisive remarks and social media gaffes have turned those opportunities into dust. The worst part is this: instead of taking responsibility for her actions or admitting that her own conduct led to this mess, Zegler is attacking her fans and accusing them of being among the loud minority of Snow White fans who have allegedly ruined her career. It seems as though she is following a script from a long list of Hollywood celebrities who blamed audiences when their projects failed. Examples include Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, and others. Their strategy is stale, predictable, and, to be honest, not helping her at all. So yes, what they did with Snow White is another instance of Disney attempting to make amends, and then Bob Iger is frantically cleaning up the mess behind the scenes. Disney has already spent a significant amount of money on Snow White, but there aren't enough rumors that reshoots and changes are being planned to save the film. The question is, however, how much more money they can spend on this project before it is completely written off because of the unrelenting criticism. Given the abundance of dislikes and negative responses on social media, this is more than just a Zegler issue. The company's live action division is suffering greatly and the optics are awful, making it a Disney-wide disaster. Although it's a personal collapse, executives and shareholders alike are left wondering if this project can even break even, let alone turn a profit for Zegler. Despite this, every effort she's made to defend herself seems to make the situation worse. Especially startling is the way Disney had relied on Zegler. She was scheduled to host the Thanksgiving specials, Christmas performance, and promotional campaign for the See Snow White reboot. Everything has been dropped, including appearances on New Year's Eve. Gal Gadot is taking over the roles that were previously occupied by Zegler. As the film's new promotional focal point, and problems aren't just being caused by the lost performances behind closed doors, Disney has plans to address Zegler's provocative behavior, but they're actually backfiring because the situation has gotten so bad that some people are wondering if the release of the film should even proceed with his plan. There is little hope for the movie's success because the damage control efforts are using up all available resources in a patient manner. So we have to he is sexually abusing you and it's not consenting. That was the original grievance regarding Snow White. How will they resolve that? I don't know, so please don't. Make it seem as though she is asking him or that she is the one who ultimately brings about the kiss. However, I'm not sure if it will be odd, whatever it is, and I find it hard to believe that they will leave that in its original form for this live action reimagining. I simply feel something. People are tired of live action remakes in general, and I believe you're right when you say that this is going to be a complete failure because they're eschewing the traditional story structure for this girl bossified version. It's difficult because each time they release a new film, it initially sort of adopts the same woke narratives that are renewed. However, it's important to remember that Disney has a history of assigning blame. Seeger's persistent refusal to accept responsibility for Stars in Trouble demonstrates the same pattern we've seen before: point the finger at the audience, use catchphrases to disparage critics, and hope it changes the conversation from the real problems. Unfortunately for Zegler, the financial ramifications are astounding, and audiences have seen this playbook too often to believe in it anymore. It has been reported that Disney is investing even more funds in this endeavor. The company's shareholders are undoubtedly concerned, especially considering Disney's other failing projects like Captain America 4, which has also seen skyrocketing costs due to reshooting The timing couldn't be worse. Either Zegler's absence from live television spots and her inability to connect with audiences on a positive level is a major blow to the movie's visibility, or the holiday season is crucial for movie promotions and Snow White has lost its leading voice at a crucial juncture. After a series of disappointing releases, Disney needed this project to succeed, not only to recover costs, but also to win back audience trust. In addition, there is the impending revelation that Zegler has been preparing a direct assault on fans, despite Disney executives' calls for her to step aside. Whether she will is uncertain. Such a statement might further alienate the very audience that Disney is attempting to regain if it were made public. It's difficult to imagine how Zegler will fare in the end, given the absolutely awful optics here. The main theme of this story is accountability, or the absence of it altogether. Zegler's insistence on placing the blame elsewhere rather than considering her own part in the conspiracy that spelled Destination 2 was undeniable. And a time when Disney needs to rebuild, this catastrophe speaks for itself. Its strained connection with viewers. Her behavior and demeanor only deepened the rift. Now please leave your thoughts in the comment section below regarding Rachel Zegler's desperate attempts to ruin her career in Disney's $400 million project. Don't forget to subscribe for more information on Snow White and other Daya gaffes. See you at the following one.